what's up YouTube? It's Scotty with Evil Castrigal. We're back with another ride video today. We've been riding a lot of motorcycles here lately. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a fun month. But today we're taking out another all-new motorcycle. You can probably see it behind me here. That's the new 2024 Kawasaki Eliminator 450. So let's take a little walk around this thing. We'll check it out. I'll tell you some of the specs and what you can expect this thing to cost you. And then we'll get it out on the road and I'll ride it and tell you how it feels. All right, let's get into it. So we're taking a look at the new 2024 Kawasaki Eliminator 450. Kawasaki's new entry into the 500 or sub 500 cc cruiser market. This is kind of going to be the stepping stone to, I guess, the Vulcan S. But really cool motorcycle. We take a close look here at the engine. It is going to feature a variant of the popular 400cc engine that is in the Kawasaki Ninja 400 and Z400 lineup, but get a closer look here. This one is actually bored out. Instead of a 396, this bike is a 451cc power plant, so it's going to make more horsepower than the claimed 49 horsepower that the Ninja 400 and the Z400 put out. We don't know a horsepower spec on it yet, but you can expect it to make more than 49, which is already more than the Rebel 500 produced by Honda, which I think is a direct competitor to this bike. I think it looks really good. Excited to get into the saddle of this thing at $66.49 MSRP. I think it's a really good price for an entry-level cruiser. And yeah, let's check it out. All right, we're out here on the Eliminator. So I've been doing some riding on it and really digging it. Like a lot. It's actually really comfortable for me. You know, at 5'10", I don't feel cramped on it. I always feel a little cramped on the Rebel for some reason, but not on this thing. And I think the other thing that's really cool about this motorcycle in comparison to the Rebel is that it's got a lot more power. Not a lot more, but it's got at least, I'm guessing here, it's probably got 8 horsepower on the Rebel, maybe more, because in the stock form, or I guess in the original format of this motor platform, the 400, or I guess 396cc version that you're going to get in the Ninja 400 and the Z400, that engine platform makes 49 horsepower. The Honda Rebel 500 or the Scrambler 500, they're going to be putting out about 46.5 horsepower. So you're already up on horsepower, and they've bored this engine out for the American market to 451 cc's. We don't have an actual horsepower spec on it yet, I believe, but I'm going to guess that you're going to be in the mid 50s. So, and you can definitely feel that. I had it up on the freeway, and the bike felt great. You know, all the way up into 6th gear. We were doing about 6,000 RPMs on the freeway, going 70 to 73 miles an hour. So not buzzy too bad, but I think the biggest thing about this motorcycle in comparison to the Rebel is you get 2-up rider compatibility right out of the gate. So you've got a passenger seat on this thing and passenger pegs stock, where if you're going to buy a Rebel, you're going to have to upgrade that, and it's never going to be really that comfortable for a passenger. Not that this motorcycle is going to be very comfortable for a passenger as well. I mean, we are talking about, you know, kind of a compact cruiser. But for riding solo, I'm very comfortable. I don't feel cramped. I feel like I could ride this motorcycle for a good while, and I think the seat itself is more comfortable. Certainly more comfortable than the Rebel. And this motor sounds really good. Of course, you know, it's the same power plant that you're going to get in a sport bike, so it doesn't sound quite like a cruiser engine, which neither does the Vulcan S. And this bike is kind of like the stepping stone to the Vulcan S in a lot of ways, although it's styled a little different. I would say from the front to the seat, it looks pretty much like a small Vulcan S, but the rear of the bike is definitely different. Definitely, I would say it's not quite a retro modern or like a throwback, but it does kind of have some of that DNA, kind of like the Scrambler 500 from Honda has. So it's a very cool bike. I think it's kind of a cross, really. It's a direct competitor to the Rebel 500, absolutely. but it's kind of more of a in-between bike between, say, the Rebel 500 and the Scrambler 500 from Honda. It sits up a little taller than the Rebel. The Rebel's known for its super low seat height. This bike is a little taller. I don't think it's threatening in how tall it is. I think you could still be a smaller person and be very comfortable on this motorcycle. I don't think you're going to be tiptoed, but it's not as low as, say, the Rebel 500 or an Indian Scout, something like that. It's a little taller. It's cool, though. It's got the dual shocks in the back, so it's got a little more of that heritage design behind it, I guess, is one way to put it. With some modern features, you know. It's got a digital readout up here, you know, pretty basic, but it gives you all the information you need. It's got a gear indicator, odometer, fuel gauge, tachometer, speedometer, obviously. It'd be pretty scary if your bike didn't have at least a speedometer on it. But yeah, it's pretty basic, but I think it's got all the information you need. Really impressed with this bike. Having just ridden the Honda Scrambler 500, which I also really like that motorcycle, but the power delivery on this one is definitely a win over that motorcycle. And I think it's more comfortable. It is. And at $66.49, it's going to be very comparable, maybe within $50 of the Scrambler, and it's about $200 more than the base model Honda Rebel 500. So that's something to look at if you're going to be looking at these, and you know your budget's tight. You might end up on the Honda over this one over $200, but I think for me right now, I think this bike is worth the extra $200. And I think Kawasaki knows that too. They wouldn't have priced it that way if they didn't, because you're getting more power. Which, when you're talking about a bike of this size that you don't want to grow out of too fast, that is a good thing. And it corners amazing. I mean, we were really hugging this thing, you know, staying in the meat of the power. It felt really good around that sweeper right there. It's got a really good lean angle for having mid controls. I have not touched the feelers yet, so really impressed with this thing. Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I really am appreciating the views and the subscriptions. You know, the channel's starting to kind of grow a little bit. That's really cool. I appreciate all the comments, all the gear snobs telling me to wear sleeves. I know that I should be wearing gloves and sleeves, but I'm at work and, you know, I get the opportunity to ride something. I don't bring all of my gear with me all the time, and, you know, I know the risk I'm taking. So you don't have to tell me in the comments. I know. I've been hurt quite a lot. That's kind of the reason for the name of the channel, okay? So, yeah. I don't know. If I crash and get road rash, it's going to be on me. You don't have to tell me that I should have worn a jacket. I know. All right? Thanks for watching, everybody. And, you know, I guess one more thing about the gear. You know, I've never claimed to be a street motorcycle expert. I'm just a regular guy that's raced motocross his whole life. And every once in a while I ride a street bike and I tell you how I feel about them. So yeah, I'm not going to go over every spec, anything like that. I'm just the average motorcycle rider, and I'm just telling you how I feel about a motorcycle, you know, first 15 minutes on it kind of thing. So I hope that clears some of the muddied water up a little bit there. Yeah, all right. I'm going to stop rambling. Thanks for watching. And you can tell me all day in the comments how much of a dum-dum I am, or, you know, whatever. I'll take it all, man. It's all good for the algorithm. But anyway, I'll check you guys later. Peace.